What inspired you to get into music?
Because my mom wanted me to start playing the piano. Electronic music, that was, Avicii and his music and sound and his melodies. That was kind of what inspired me.
Did you expect it to get that big?
No, not at all. I was just kind of experimenting. What I loved about SoundCloud, they could comment like a specific timestamp, or I love this part. They wrote this like that demo, and I remember I produced it that same night.
What is going on? You are listening to Bobby on BPM, straight from the Sirius XM Miami studio. It is Friday today, and I'm actually joined by a very special guest, Kygo.
Hey, man.
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Like we were talking about earlier, beautiful weather here today.
So nice, yeah.
Yeah, and you flew in from where?
Flew in from Norway, and it was pretty cold compared to this, so This is definitely a nice little change.
Yeah, man. No, you're rocking a t-shirt out in February right now. It's good stuff.
It's not bad.
Yeah, don't be scared to rip your tarp off, dude. The sun's outside. Don't be scared, bro. So you flew in from Norway, and now you're here in Miami. You're traveling all the time. Is it like tough to adjust to time changes, and like, is your sleep schedule okay, dude?
I think it's okay now, but during the most busy times when you travel a lot, it can definitely get pretty exhausting because you're kind of jet lagged all the time.
No, I hear you, bro.
I like to go back to Norway because I do play a lot of shows over here in the US. So every time I go back, I have 2 weeks back home. You're jet lagged for a week, and then you get into that time zone, and you fly back to the US, and then you're jet lagged for another week, and just going back and forth between the time zones it can be pretty exhausting.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I travel around the U.S. a lot for work, and that's only like a 3-4 hour difference. Dude, you're on the other side of the world.
Yeah, no, it's actually, but that 3 hour difference, it's kind of underestimate that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
you go here to Vegas, dude. Low key cooked. You get a little cooked from that,
but
bro.
Yeah, the 9 hour difference from like LA to Norway is pretty. That one kind of takes you out.
But hey, man. This is a life you signed up for.
Yeah.
Not a bad life, dude. Not a bad life.
Not a bad life.
So I want to bring it back a little bit, bro. What inspired you to get into music?
Well, music in general, like I started playing the piano when I was, 5 years old. That was kind of because my mom wanted me to start playing the piano. We had a piano back home that I have 2 older sisters, and they tried to, they took piano lessons for 2 months each, and then they quit. So my mom really wanted someone to play that piano, and so I started taking lessons, and I kind of liked it. And also my dad plays the piano, so I was a little bit inspired by him. But yeah, I just kind of liked playing the piano, and every time I got back from school, I could sit for 2 hours just play by myself.
Wow.
So that's kind of how I got into music. And then electronic music, that was Avicii and his music and sound and his melodies. That was kind of what inspired me to take the step from making melodies and playing the piano and making melodies on the piano to producing music.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you didn't quit the piano like your sisters.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely glad myself.
Yeah, dude, shout out Avicii, by the way. His Wake Me Up track just broke 3 billion streams yesterday.
Oh, what did it? Wow.
Shout out, dude. Shout out. Legend.
It's a banger. I always play it in my shows. I played it the last year. Like I've always played at least one Avicii song. It's either like Levels or like Wake Me Up. It just works every time.
Every time, bro. It's like a cheat code, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a cheat code. It's almost like playing like Don't Stop Believing. It's like everybody knows they just go crazy every time.
No, for real, dude. It's a banger. Honestly, Avicii never fails, man.
No, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the GOAT. Yo, so I consider you for sure like one of the pioneers of tropical house music, and it became a global movement. Did you expect it to get that big? Because when you started making it, it was kind of new, like that sound and everything.
Yeah, no, not at all. I was just kind of experimenting, and then at the time there was I was doing this sound. Thomas Jack was an Australian producer. The first couple of years when I was producing music, I was as I said, very inspired by Avicii and Swedish House Mafia and all that, the more upbeat stuff. And then at one point I was like, I gotta try to make something different, because I will never be able to make Avicii sound better than Avicii did, or a Swedish House Mafia. They did it way better. So I was just trying to make like a copy of their sound. But then a lot of the music I listened to at the time was a little bit slower in BPM. So I just started experimenting, and then that was kind of what felt natural, to have these like melodic, still like the melodicness of Avicii's, music, but just slower and kind of like fitting a different setting. It was kind of more, I was envisioning people, on the beach chilling, or like at a festival sitting down, just like having a beer. That was kind of my vision from you know, if I was going to play a festival, I wanted to play for people sitting down, chilling, which is probably a pretty boring crowd to play for.
Nah, dude. Nah. It's a good vibe.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah.
But no, yes, and I never expected, you know, that sound to, you know, become as, you know, big as it got.
Dude, huge. And would you like consider yourself a part of like the SoundCloud era when it was like blowing up a lot of artists?
Yeah, definitely. That was, you know, that was when I started, you know, and I loved posting. Like what I loved about SoundCloud, the main things I loved was that you got instant feedback on your songs through comments. People could comment on, and not just instant feedback on the track in general, they could comment like a specific timestamp, or I love this part, or I don't like this part, but I like this part, and the drop like, oh, this part is amazing. So I kind of missed that, you know, real connection with the fans and what, you know, exactly drew them to this song, because they could, you know, comment on the song, not just, you know, put a comment on Instagram or whatever. They could comment on a specific part of the song that they liked, you know.
Damn.
And there was something really nice about that as an artist to get that kind of feedback.
I've never heard that response from an artist before. It's almost like your Instagram, but for music. It was,
people and it was.
In real time.
I really missed that. I wish, you know, because
they
I
say
think
it's making a comeback, low key.
Yeah, let's hope so. And it wouldn't be that hard to like for Spotify or Apple Music to have something similar. Like people could, you know, comment on the tracks, which it was just really nice for me as, you know, a producer and starting out, figuring out my own sound to get that kind of feedback was very, you know, valuable.
No, that's what's up. And speaking of around that time period, me and my boys actually discovered you. You released the track Firestone, and we were rinsing that probably like 10 times a day. I'm gonna be honest.
Nice.
Great track, dude. How did the inspiration come about for that?
I gotta remember, but yeah, no, that was
going back in time.
That was I got the demo for Firestone from Conrad Sewell, who was the vocalist, and that was through, you know, label. Actually, it wasn't through label; it was through like management. Yeah, I just had that demo. I loved that vocal. I loved his voice, and I, you know, produced. It was kind of in the similar sound as some of like my remixes from, you know, SoundCloud, but maybe a little bit more upbeat. So I just felt like that track was just. Yeah, it was just, his vocal was amazing, and I felt that, you know, that melody that I ended up having in the drop just really fit the whole song. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because it's been, you know, it's probably 12 years since I produced that song. So it's kind of, yeah. Is it 14? No, yeah, it's 2014, yeah. And I probably produced it during that year, so I almost can't remember it. But I do remember, you know, listening to, like, producing it, like having the, you know, the first, you know, versions of the song, and me and my manager were listening to it, and we both, you know, love that song.
Yeah, no, it's a great track. Still one of my favorites, bro.
Thank you.
Speaking of other tracks of yours that are my favorites, so you have a collaboration with Selena Gomez. Love that song. How did you end up collaborating with her on that track?
That was one of the songwriters, Andrew Watt, who texted, like he was friends with her, so he had, like, they wrote this, like, that demo, and I remember I produced it that same night, because we were in the studio together. I produced almost like the whole song was almost done after like one day, which is, you know, sometimes when a song clicks, it just kind of just happens really fast. And then he sent it to Selena, and she loved it, and I remember I went back home to Norway, and they recorded the vocal in the studio maybe the week after. It was a very, like, fast, like, quick process. Yeah,
that is a quick turnaround on the track. I've heard other stories where it takes like a year or two for people to release stuff.
That happens often as well. So.
That's a very different instance.
Yeah.
Well, dude, like, you've worked with a ton of amazing vocalists across dance music, pop, whatever, right? Like Ellie Goulding, you know, Justin Jesso is one of my favorite guys. I love that guy.
Yeah,
shout out, by the way.
Guy, yeah.
But a bunch, like, who have been your favorite vocalists to work and produce songs with?
That's like, it's impossible. It's so many. I've been so lucky to be able to work with so many talented vocalists, and obviously I could, you know, the people have like Parson James, Justin Jesso, Zach Abel. Like I've had them. They joined me for my whole tour last year. So, and Jesso has been almost with me for like every show the last 6-7 years. So obviously I gotta give like a little bit of a extra shout out to Jesso and Parson and Zach Abel. But, you know, I've been just very lucky to to collaborate with so many, talented vocalists.
Yeah. No, I've seen Justin. Justin, I know him pretty well. I've seen him at Palm Tree Hamptons like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay,
he jumped on top of the gate and had the bodyguard like holding him up. It was a pretty funny scene. I'm gonna be honest, dude.
That's what I like. He just always bring this energy on stage. It doesn't matter if it's 10 people in a crowd or if it's 50,000. He has the same energy. Like it doesn't matter who's in the crowd. He could come in here. If we were gonna play Stargazing right now, he would jump up on this table, run around, like get it. You should
have brought him in.
That would be funny. So I just love that he always brings that energy.
Yeah. No, 100%. Shout out, dude. Love that guy. Love that guy. Dude, so another artist that's honestly one of my favorites outside of dance music, but they've had some crossovers, is One Republic. And you have 2 tracks with them, right?
I have 3.
3?
Yeah,
3 tracks.
Wait, now I gotta think. Yeah, I have a song, and that one is a little bit lesser known, Stranger Things. And then we have Lose Somebody, and then Paradise that released last year. Yeah.
All right, I was down one. My bad.
No, that's because we made a lot of, like, me and like Ryan Tedder made a lot of music together in the studio, and he's always he's a genius, so it's always fun to work with him.
He's so talented, man. He's really so talented.
Yeah.
Yo, so how do you come up with the visuals for your shows? Because I remember seeing this clip go viral of a panda playing the pianos to was it Sexual Healing? Yeah.
Well, that's I have ideas for the visuals, but it's mostly my team. I have like a visual team. They come with ideas, and the panda was an idea from Sean, who works with me and helps me put together the live show and my DJ sets, and he came up with the idea of this panda. I think it was him playing this like and then triggering the lasers every time the panda was playing a note. And I remember the first time I heard that idea, I was like, this could look really corny. It was like, it could almost look like, but then I saw it and I was like, this is actually pretty cool,
dude,
and
rules,
it's pretty
bro.
Funny.
Yeah, dude, that panda
and
rules.
that became on the tour. I remember, I saw every time I played Sexual Healing, I saw so many phones come up, because that was almost like the Instagram moment. They wanted that one on video, so that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's dope. So you obviously do your live piano arena shows, right? Then you do DJ sets. Which one do you prefer more?
I gotta say that the live stuff, because I love to play the piano, and I feel like that's what I've been doing since I was little, and that's kind of how I started. So I really love to play the piano, and every time I have the chance to play live some of these like melodies and the acoustic versions of some of the songs, that's definitely my favorite. But the fun thing about DJ sets is you have more freedom to do. You can add a lot of remixes, so you can add a lot of energy to like you do mashups. You have a lot more freedom in DJ sets. Than my live shows kind of has to stay. And like I can mix it up a little bit, but there's a lot of songs that has to kind of stay the way they are, like with some small edits from time to time. But I think my favorite would be the live.
Nice. All right, I could kind of get that vibe because you stuck with the piano your whole life.
Yeah.
You and that piano, dude. You're committed.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
beautiful
committed.
though, dude. It's beautiful. Yo, so what do you kind of see? Because dude, you've been making bangers for like over a decade now. So you've kind of seen the different trends in dance music and where it goes. Like, what do you think is really trending and what's really dope right now within the dance music scene?
I guess right now, obviously you have like the Afro house stuff that's pretty big. You have like the more like the tech house, the deeper stuff. But it's kind of like, I think that's obviously what's really popping right now. Mm-hmm. But it goes in waves. It's like always, it's hard to predict where it's going from here.
Yeah.
If there's this, are we bringing in more disco? Are we making it more upbeat? Are we bringing down the BPM up to be? It kind of just depends on what people release. But obviously, like I never really try to like follow the trends. I try to just make whatever I feel like making, and if that's gonna work or not, I don't know. We'll see.
So we'll never get a Kygo tech house set. That's what you're saying.
Probably not. Like I would definitely like to. I could definitely play some songs. It just has to fit in with some of my original stuff is slow, and like going from a slower song, like, Higher Love or whatever, into full like tech house, it might be too much of a, mix up. So
No
I
doubt.
think I try to have like some kind of balance in my sets.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Are there any like really cool like new rising artists that you like?
New rising artist. We have a Norwegian guy called I would say Oscar McCaw. He's really talented. He's been releasing a couple bangers lately. Who else do we have? I would have to like look through my Spotify, but I would say definitely give it
Right,
shout out
do
to
this shit. We'll do this
Oscar, because he's I feel like his sound is really cool.
Yeah. No, that's what's up. Yo, so you have like a whole ecosystem behind you and that you created called Palm Tree, right? So like it's management, it's a label, you do festivals. Like what's the whole vision for Palm Tree? And what is it exactly, to tell you the truth?
Yeah, we kind of like it's kind of the story with Palm Tree is obviously, Tropical House, and the Palm Tree was kind of representative of, Tropical House and my music. And then I have this palm tree tattoo, and all my half my crew has like a palm tree tattoo. So it was kind of just, and also we love palm trees. And
Clearly, bro.
And then we started giving out these like necklaces. It kind of became like, this idea of giving out necklaces to the people, like to make, that they're part of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like kind of how it started. And then, we've had, me and my manager talked about having our own festival for like a long time before it happened. And then it's just kind of been like to see how big it can get. Like I think that some of the inspiration behind, Palm Tree Crew was Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just to see kind of his vision, like to be able to, like, he's obviously, released so many songs, but that, Margaritaville turned into something, huge. He had, hotels. I think he had like an airline. That's Margaritaville. He has all these like bars and restaurants. So I think it was just that was kind of something that inspired me, and at least my manager Miles, he's always had the bigger vision.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been focused on making music and just wanting to release the best music possible, and he's always been like thinking. He's a very, very creative person, so
Yes, he is.
so he wants to always figure out what can we do with this, what more can we do here, like it's just kind of, so I definitely, a lot of the Palm Tree Crew stuff and how big it has gotten right now is a lot of the hard work from Miles and the team too. I think if you asked him that question, he would be like, Palm Tree Crew is gonna be the biggest thing in the world.
I've heard him say that, actually.
It's just kind of he just wants to. I think he doesn't see it stopping ever. He just wants to see how big we can take it.
No doubt. Speaking of palm trees, by the way, I keep seeing disco palm trees all around Miami and other places. What's going on with that?
Well, it's kind of, I haven't released music for a while. I released 2 songs the whole year last year. But I've been making a lot of music. So I have, a new song coming out, and then I have, a bunch of new music coming out. So it was kind of just like to start fresh, cleared my Instagram.
Bunch of new music, huh?
Bunch of new music. So I just have, a lot of new songs that I'm really excited about, and hopefully people are gonna like. So that was kind of the idea behind it.
Dope. All right, this is my last question, might be a little hard. What are your top 5 songs you've ever released?
Oh, top 5. I think number 1 would be Freeze. That was one of the songs that it's like an 8-minute long song. It's not really like I knew like streaming wise, this is not gonna be like the biggest, it's not gonna get hundreds of millions of streams or whatever. But I just felt that song had something really special. So that's I gotta say that's my favorite. Number 2, like obviously like Firestone is always has a special place in my heart. That was the first song ever released, and then I gotta say Stole the Show, because that was my second song I ever released, and those two, they kind of go a little hand in hand. Number 4, I would say Higher Love.
Tune.
I really like that one. That was also one of a song that I got sent that vocal from Whitney Houston, which was obviously really cool moment for me. But that I think that whole song, or like the first version of it, sounds pretty similar to the one that's released. I produced it in one day. That was just one of those ones that where it clicks. It just kind of. But I was like sitting there like 12 hours straight, just like not
flow state.
It definitely a very like flow state and very like in the zone. So yeah, that was number 4.
Number 5.
My own songs. That's a tough one.
No one said this was going to be easy, bro.
Yeah. I guess, stargazing.
Nice
we talked about, Gesso, and that's always a fun one to play live. And then, like, as I said, like, I've had Gesso with me for so many shows the last 7-8 years, and it's just always a fun song to play.
Nope. Facts. Thanks for coming in, Kygo.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you, bro. All right. And that was Kygo, and you were listening to Bobby on BPM straight from the SiriusXM Miami studio. Peace.